What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So, good news post fight, Cotto Gil. Cotto says he wants to make the fight with Canelo. Post conference, he said 155 seems suitable. Canelo's been fighting at 155 his last couple of fights, and he says he's a small middleweight, if a middleweight, and he weighed 153 versus Gil, and he weighed like 159 versus Martinez. So he says 155 should be doable. So I'm going to spend some time talk about this particular fight, and I'm not going to do a prediction until it's signed. You guys know how I do, how I operate. No reason to give actual predictions, but I will give some insight on the build-up to this particular fight. Me, sensational fight, great fight, and the winner deserves a lot of credit. Now, we're going to really analyze. So if again, I don't deal with all these radical fans. A lot of you guys get mad. Oh, you said this, because you guys are groupies and you want to celebrate. That's cool. If your favorite fighter is X, Y, and Z, that's fine. But that doesn't change these facts. Now, I did my post fight with Daniel Gil and Miguel Cotto. Cotto looked very sharp. He looked good. But just like every win, I'm going to put it in perspective. Now, Cotto did fight Daniel Gil at a catchweight, which I think dampened some of his victory. If he fought him at the regular 160 as lineal middleweight champion, then people would have less to say. You know what I mean? And this is the thing. I have to kill y'all and slaughter you with facts. Stop me when I'm wrong. Daniel Gil, in my honest opinion, did not do anything that would warrant a title shot after being stopped by Gennady Triple G Golovkin last year. In fact, the only person Daniel Gil fought since the Triple G stoppage was Jared Fletcher. And not to mention, when he fought Daniel Gil, it went to a decision. Not to mention, his opponent, Jared Fletcher, was fresh off of a knockout to Danny Jacobs, right? So Danny Jacobs knocks out Jared Fletcher. Jared Fletcher faces Daniel Gil, and Daniel Gil doesn't stop him like Danny Jacobs, but he wins a decision, and that's the only thing he did before the Cotto fight, in between the Triple G ass whooping and getting the Cotto fight. Now, from Daniel Gil's perspective, of course he's going to take a Cotto fight. It's a big name. I'm sure a bigger paycheck than fighting a Jared Fletcher. So he did what he had to do. He struggled to make weight, like I told you. And that's what it is. Cotto ran through him. Cotto looked sharp. Now, I have no question that Cotto is an elite fighter. He's actually, I followed his whole career. He's always been one of my favorites. But that doesn't mean, see, this is the thing with a fan and a groupie. That doesn't mean I support everything that somebody does. If they fought a certain way, like when Cotto fought Zab Judah, he fought Mayweather, he fought Pacquiao, Antonio Margarito, he fought all these guys, Shane Mosley. But if he kind of derives from the game plan, then some of you guys want me to act oblivious to these facts. And I'm not going to do that. So you might as well find another boxing channel, because I'm not going to do that. So there's been plenty of guys. I've celebrated Leo Santa Cruz, but in recent videos, I haven't had much to say positive about Leo Santa Cruz, because I don't like the way his career has headed, if you will. You know what I'm saying? But some people, they want you to act like a groupie, and they don't want you to put these victories into perspective. They just want you to be like, oh, Cotto's the best. I'm not doing that, because I'm a real boxing fan. Cotto did what he had to do. He looked good versus Daniel Gil, but I put it in perspective. And the perspective is just what I told you with the Jared Fletcher. And his last opponent before that was Sergio Martinez at another catchweight of 159. Martinez was off of an over a year layoff with the bum knee. And again, Cotto is elite, so he's a veteran and he's a good fighter, so he was able to capitalize on that. But there's no one that's going to be able to convince me that Sergio Martinez's knee was not a problem at all. I mean, that was pretty evident. The man could barely stand, but it takes an exceptional fighter like Cotto to make him look that bad. You know what I'm saying? Had Sergio Martinez been in there with Matthew Macklin or something, he might not have looked at least that bad. So props to Cotto for that. But again, I put these wins into perspective. And if you think about it, Cotto with Freddie Roach has stopped everybody. He stopped Delvin Rodriguez, Sergio Martinez, and Daniel Gil. But again, you got to put it in perspective. Notice how the two opponents before that, he didn't stop them. Floyd Mayweather and Austin Trout. And then before that, he rematched Margarito, who was probably cheating in the first fight. and he did get a stoppage, but again, I put it in perspective. Obviously, Margarito's eye was fucked up from having a broken orbital courtesy of Manny Pacquiao. So I'm not gonna. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna avoid these facts, and I'm gonna get to Canelo too. But I'm not gonna act like Pacquiao, him breaking Margarito's fucking face open and breaking his orbital bone, had nothing to do with Cotto targeting that eye and causing Margarito's eye to look so horrible. The doctor stopped it. You know what I'm saying? But even still, Margarito didn't get stopped like he just got pulverized and stopped like Sergio Martinez, like Daniel Gill, like Delvin Rodriguez. You know what I'm saying? So again, you have to put it in perspective. Now, when you're talking about Canelo, that's a whole different ball game because Canelo is not 40 years old like Sergio Martinez. He's not coming off of a year-plus layoff with a wounded leg. He's actually stopped his last opponent. So the timing for this fight, if it happens next, is impressive. Cotto's on a 3-win all knockout streak. Canelo, he beat Lara. That was kind of controversial. Oh, actually, let's talk about Canelo. Canelo's, in my opinion, he's almost in the same boat. Now, he has the James Kirkland. The perspective is this. And some people, if you got to make a point, then make a point. But don't lie on me. Some people said, oh, I was praising and I was happy when Canelo stopped Kirkland and I was giving him a ton of credit. You ain't never heard me say that because, again, as a boxing fan, I put it in perspective. Canelo looked good in his fight with James Kirkland, but the reality is he fought a guy who is a loose cannon, wasn't with Ann Wolf for whatever reason. The trainer most people thought gave the best opportunity to beat anybody. And he was on like a 1.5 year layoff, almost 2 years or whatever, since the Glenn Tapia. That is the perspective. These are realities. Like, again, some people are going to be like, oh, you're hating on Canelo, you're hating on Cotto. A hater is going to say whatever they want to condemn you. They don't even care if it's factual. If I was hating on these guys, then I would make things up about them. I would make up a lie. Oh, Canelo's gay and all that stupid shit that some of you guys do. But I'm not doing that. I'm giving you cold, concrete fact. Things you can go out and prove via video, via Google, etc. And that's the reality of it. So let's keep going down Canelo. He fought an inactive James Kirkland, spun him around in 3 rounds. He looked good in his fight. And then before that, controversy with Erislandy Lara. And some people thought, I personally had Lara winning by a very tight margin. It was a competitive fight. It was a fight of halves. Lara boxed good in the first portion, and then Canelo made some type of adjustment. Couldn't really fully cut off the ring, but Lara, he started to kind of backtrack, and he wasn't really offensive when Canelo started ripping to the body. These are facts. Before that, he fought Angulo, tore him up, and beat him easy work. They were both coming off of losses. And then before that, he lost to Floyd Mayweather. So that's where both fighters are at. These are all facts. That's why this fight is intriguing, because this will be the first opponent where there's really no excuses, because for the most part, they've looked pretty good given the opponents that were in front of them. Now this is the real deal in my opinion, this is the real deal, because Cotto is on a 3-win knockout streak. He's feeling good. He's feeling young again. He's feeling like vintage Cotto with Freddie Roach. Canelo should have some confidence. 2 of his last 3 fights have ended in stoppage. He stopped Angulo, easy work. I don't even think I gave Angulo 1 round. Then he had a tough time, but still beat Lara, according to the judges. And then he just spun James Kirkland around. So they're both coming off of knockouts. This is a sensational fight that needs to happen. But I'm not going to stop giving you guys fact. I do think, and this is the thing, some people are like, oh, you're hating on Cotto, man, you're hating on him. If I was hating, then how can I make a video a whole day before telling you guys that I believe Daniel Gill is weight drained and all the evidence and all the red flags and the signs are there? I would just wait till the fight happens, see the outcome, and then start spewing a bunch of bullshit. But I called it just how it played out. I told you, if a fighter is weight drained, a lot of times their punch resistance goes down. They look sluggish. They look fatigued. Everything that Daniel Gill looked. Watch his fight with Triple G. A more, in my opinion, devastating puncher. He still had more bounce to his step. He didn't look as flat as he did with Cotto. Again, Cotto is an elite fighter. If Sergio was in there with Macklin probably wouldn't have been able to produce the same results that Cotto did. So I'm not hating on these guys. I'm just telling you the honest truth. But as far as Canelo Cotto, that's a great fight. And it's a winnable fight for both. This is a blockbuster fight financially. It's a fight that makes sense. And to me, whoever wins the fight, because this is another thing, they're talking about making the fight at 155. That is, to me, a fair weight. Canelo hasn't fought at 160. Cotto's not big for 160. So based on the situation, again, I am not a fan of catch weights. This is the other thing. A lot of people make comparisons. Make them apples for apples. I've told you guys, I am not a fan of catch weights at all, in general. But since they are a part of reality in boxing, I do take them on a case-by-case basis. Some people are like, oh, so you're going to be pissed about Broner and Porter? And the variables for that fight versus Cotto-Gill are completely different. Broner is 25 years old. Sean Porter is 27 years old. As I mentioned in the Daniel Gill being drained video, the younger you are, the better chance you have of flexing your body and fluctuating your weight like that, right? Porter also has a 60% knockout ratio. Daniel Gill doesn't. Porter, like I said, is 27. Daniel Gill is 34. So there's a lot of different variables that you have to consider. Porter, his sole loss was to Kell Brook via majority decision. Daniel Gill's lost, I think, 2 or 3 times. His last loss was to Triple G last year, where he got pulverized and lost every single round and got knocked out in 3. All of that has physical, psychological effect on you. Sean Porter versus Kell Brook, he didn't get manhandled like that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get stopped. It went to decision. So again, these are all different fights with different variables. You can't make comparisons like that. So I'm just all for Canelo Cotto. It's really a great fight, and I will give the winner of that fight full credit. Whoever wins, I'll do a prediction if the fight is made. I think it'll be a massive fight. I really hope it happens because this is a good, meaningful fight. I'm not saying these guys' other fights weren't meaningful, but as I did in this video, when you explore them, there are some things where, like Canelo lore, how can you give him full credit when the world in general is not a unanimous thing that everyone feels Canelo won that fight? You know what I mean? The Kirkland, you can try to skirt around the issue, but the fact is the man was on a year-long layoff. Sergio Martinez was on a year-long layoff nursing an injury, and it looked like that injury plagued him when he fought Cotto. Daniel Gill was at a catchweight, and at the weigh-in he looked drained. These are all facts. But if Cotto and Canelo fight, there's no excuses because they've both won. So Canelo, 2 of the 3 of the fights that he won were via stoppage. 3 of 3 for Cotto were stoppage. This fight needs to happen next, and I don't want them to prolong it. Canelo's back on HBO. Cotto's on HBO. Let's go. Let's see this fight. And the thing I fear is that they do some dumb bullshit like Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather and extend this to the point where Cotto loses his belt or gets stripped, or one of them takes a loss or looks like shit. You know what I mean? Even like a Robert Guerrero versus Aaron Martinez type of performance, or Amir Khan versus Chris Algieri, to the point where the fight is going to lose some of its luster. I don't want that. So I just hope they make it next. Both fighters should be confident, stopping 2 of 3 of their last opponents, and then for Cotto, stopping 3 of 3 of his last opponents. Let's go. Let's see it. I really want to see this fight, and if any news surfaces, I'll update you guys and further break it down. Let me know what you guys think of this fight. Link in the description if you want to hear what Cotto said post-fight. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.
Hey, no, guys, I came to watch fight now. Right now, I'm ready. Hey, now, Rosie, I like Good Boys Can't Jump. Good movie.
You're so funny, Golovkin. Fools that start with the letter Q. What is a quiche? What is a quail?
Since I beat Daniel Gill ass, I'm ready to face Canelo. You know, Freddie Roach is the best thing to happen to my career. I told Miguel Cotto the game plan is to go out there and kick Daniel Gill's motherfucking ass. And I said, once we go after him, and once we beat the brakes off of him, we'll go after that Irish redhead ginger motherfucker, Canelo.